What's going on, guys and gals? Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the inside of my office. Hopefully you can hear me well. This is a live show. If it's a live show, you can comment also in the chat. But anyways, welcome to my channel on a part-time basis. What I do is I buy and resell typically used goods that I find from thrift stores and garage sales, yard sales, and estate sales. And I put this stuff on eBay primarily, and stuff goes on Amazon as well, sometimes my antique booth, and sometimes Craigslist. So anyways, that's the story behind who I am. Please subscribe to my channel, and we're gonna get right to the finds. So every single Saturday, for the most part, I go to garage sales, and I wake up early, and with a wad of cash, I go hit the town and see what I can find. Now, the reason why I do that is because it's extremely profitable, and rather than sleep in, it's just a lot of fun. Like, it's just one of those things. You never know what you're gonna find, and a lot of times you can find things to supplement your daily life, things that you can wear, use, whatever, and then the other stuff is, profitable stuff. So in this video, I'm going to show you basically the profitable stuff that I kept. So I'm gonna get right to it. Essentially, what one of the garage sales, my brother and I, we split a kind of a game lot, but it's not just a normal, it's not a video game lot, it's actually a board game lot. And these aren't board games like Sorry or Monopoly or anything like that, or Scrabble. And those can be profitable, but you have to find certain editions of them, right? But these games that we bought are typically, I wish they were new in the box because, they're not. But I wanted to show you guys this for a learning experience for you guys, that these types of games are a little bit more strategy based and a little bit more, a lot of times the game can take 30 minutes to an hour to play it through. Sometimes the game is 2 players, you can go up to all the way up to about 8 players. But these are the games that I would say are right before those really long games like Warhammer or Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. There's that intermediate type time frame playing games, and they're still strategy based, requires a lot of thought. And so anyways, so here's one of them right here. It's used. I will play it with my brother and friends and stuff like that. But here's Fuse, right? A lot of times you can see these, I call them nerd games, right? Because they just require a lot more time and a lot more thought. They're typically in much better boxes. The boxes are stronger, and the artwork's like 5 billion times better. And a lot of times, if the game is really good, it'll have something in the front that shows like accolades of praise from all these places that have rated the game, including it could be a Mensa type game as well, which is really good for children to play to really help them think critically, right? So here's another game right here. We have Incognito. So a game like this, for example, Fuse, brand new, would be, you could send it off to FBA for around 20 bucks. Incognito is like a $60 game on FBA, maybe $55 new. I can't sell it used, but I could still move that stuff on eBay, and I'll probably will move this stuff once I'm done playing with it as a used lot on eBay. We have Dead Panic right here. This is a decent game right here. Definitely wanted to own it. These games are made by, some of these are made by Fireside. Some are made by Arez. Some of them are going to be made by Rio Grande Games. Those are really good places. I mean, really good companies that make some of these more strategy and thought-based board games. Here we have Castle Panic, right? So there's Dead Panic. We have Castle Panic. We have some other ones like this, also by Fireside Games. This one's called Village Crone or Crone. Yeah, the Village Crone. I guess that's what it's called. All right, so there's that one right there. And we paid like basically nothing. We paid like 20 bucks for all the ones that I'm showing you. So like I said, I'll play them, and then I will move them on eBay after that. Here we have The Walking Dead. It's an actual, board game. So nothing crazy. And then we have King of New York, which I think you can buy at Target. So this one is basically, it's easy to, I think you can buy this at Target for maybe 29 bucks or so. But like I said, I'll put it in a lot once I'm done with everything. Should be a pretty easy sale. We have Megacorp. Sorry, there you go, Megacorp. So there's another one. This one's made by Z-Man Games. This one was made by IELO, I think. The best game company that I think when it comes to these strategy type these strategy type board games, is my favorite one is definitely Rio Grande Games. So if you see something made by Rio Grande Games, like that one's typically something to look a little bit further into. Other board games that are in this kind of category that are very notable would be like Catan, Carcassonne, all those kind of games. You can see in Target as well. There's Ticket to Ride. That's a really big one as well. But yeah, fun games that you have to play. Typically, a lot of times it's like 30 minutes to an hour to play these games. Okay, anyways, we have people in the chat right now. We have Audrey. What's up, Audrey? I'll see you this weekend. Liquidation OH, Adam A517, Southwest Profit, Cindy, Michelle. We have more people. Knows AZ Mick, make your life better. All right, so hello to all you peeps out there. Also, when I was at that garage sale, I picked up 2 things. I spent $2 on these 2 things, and pretty interesting. So I have 2 avenues to move this one product right here. This is a Beatles Zippo. Nothing crazy, but it's a Zippo and it's themed. So a lot of times when you get Zippo and it's themed, and especially if it's $1 or 25 cents or 50 cents, I like to pop on those kind of things because themed Zippos a lot of times can go for north of 20 bucks. And if you, I kind of blind buy them, but you know, a themed Zippo north of 20 bucks. If it's, you know, certain ones like Marlboro Zippos, the bronze ones or whatever came from the catalog back in the day, or even some of the bronze ones that they were handing out at certain biker rallies or parties or stuff like that, just to get your driver's license scanned, they would give you a Zippo, and some of those are worth some good coin as well. But things like this, like a Zippo, a Vito Zippo, this is a 2009 one right here. What's really weird is this one says 2009 Apple Comps or Apple Core Limited A Beatles product. Okay, whatever. But basically, I buy this stuff because just like this thing, which is the other $1, you can put these things in lots and you can move them on eBay. All right, and you can say untested, whatever. As long as they see the spark, then they know that all it needs is basically fuel. And then these things, which are iPods. This is a 30 gig. This is not a solid state hard drive. This is one of the rotating hard drives inside. I buy them irregardless of battery condition. Typically, when they're hooked up, you know, you can obviously see if they work. But when you disconnect them, that's the real story of whether the battery is going to work or not. So when you put these things on eBay in a lot, I like to get at least 10 of them or so, and then I put them on eBay for about 140 or above. And so here are some of the other ones that are going to go in my lot. I have a Nano. We have a normal one right here, which they all should say the gigs on the back. This one says 4, I believe. That's a 4 gig right there. We have one right there. And these are all, you know, iPods that I popped on from garage sales. This one right here. This is my iPod drawer, if you haven't figured it out. Yeah, so there was another one right there. And yeah, there's just a bunch of other randoms in here. So I haven't quite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm almost to 10. You know, when I get to 10, that's when I start making the move there. I think I need 3 more, or actually 2 more to get to 10. So that's something that I always get into when I go to garage sales. An iPod cord, everyone should have that at home. You can test them, but don't be afraid of moving a used iPod if there's A, music on it, and B, if it doesn't hold the right kind of charge. All right. So anyways, question, how much do you pay for these iPods? $1 or less. And in fact, if it's a bigger one with a rotating hard drive, I will pay sometimes up to $5. But yeah, anyways, good to see everyone in here. Yeah, so here we go. Fireside 1 says, I buy all Zippos I see. I just bundle the common ones. So yeah, you know, upon further you know, research, we'll see if this is a common or not. But even if it was a common, I'll just bundle it or lot them up. And if it's not a common, then A, it's a first-class rate, and B, you know, takes super easy to shoot the pictures of these things. Yeah, so really, really easy. Now, if you're wondering, like, how do you know if it's a Zippo versus a Ronson or any of these other lighter brands, it'll say Zippo on the bottom. So that's pretty clear. Yeah, so that's a good one to look out for. Other lighters to look out for that are pretty cool. I don't know if Cartier makes lighters, but there's another brand. Dunhill's pretty good. So look out for some Dunhill ones. Those are definitely a little bit harder to find, but very awesome and very collectible. Okay, so let's talk about now some of the other stuff that I found. I'm going to show you these really cool shoes that I found too here in a second. So I went to a garage sale. I spent $35 on these things. One of these things is the cool shoes that I told you about. So, all right, I went up to this garage sale. They had a GameCube. The dude wanted like 40 bucks for a GameCube. I was like, no way. But in the GameCube, in the box and everything, he had just pulled it out. I showed up to this garage sale accidentally at 8:30, and it turned out to be a 9 o'clock garage sale. And they were just kind of putting boxes out. So that's actually just me being pretty lucky, I guess. But I think I could have been equally as lucky because nothing in the ad said video games in the first place. And so I might have seen it at 9, 9, 10, and I might have come across these video games, but this was all sitting in the box. There were a bunch of other things in the box too, but I just didn't want to mess with it. But what I did want to mess with, I'll show you here. So we have this game, Pikmin 3, in a used condition, I think disc only, because when I say used condition, you can get on FBA, you can take a look at what a used Pikmin 3 Wii U is, but the question is, what is a used, mint, no scratch Pikmin 3 with the case, with the insert, and with the actual instruction booklet? What does that go for? That's the real story. So when you deal with FBA, a lot of times the price that you see on the Amazon seller app is going to be the price of a game that is literally like disc only and might have scratches, or more than likely will have scratches on it. So it's not that it's an inaccurate price, you just kind of have to price above that. And typically with video games such as these, they have extremely low ranks. Most of these video games are ranks that are sub 2,500 in the category, and they move very quickly. So if you price it, match market price or whatever that button is called on FBA, you're going to sell that thing in 2 seconds, right? Because you have to ask a premium if you have the case, if you have the insert, if you have, no scratches on your disc. It's very important to start pricing that higher. So anyways, yeah, someone's saying a nice Point Break poster behind you. That's what I'm saying right there. I love that thing. So yeah, Pikmin 3 is about $10 and some change with scratch disc only, but we don't have that right here. So I'll be asking, and I'll be asking for more than that, obviously. When I say these amounts for $10 and some change, that's after FBA fees and everything like that. So it's likely a $15 game in scratch condition, disc only, right? And then Amazon FBA gives you a $10 and whatever change check, for this, to sell this. So here's another one that I got. I think this one's also a $10 game and some change. This is Wind Waker. It's a Zelda game for Wii U, which is actually a really fun console to own. I have one. I love it. So yeah, Wii U, Zelda. As usual, we have everything in there for the most part, I believe. Maybe not so much the insert, but we definitely have the game and everything else, an original like cover art. Here's one that's really good. This is probably the best one, right? This one yields about $25, which might be actually really $30. But yeah, this is Super Smash Brothers Wii U, which is I think it's the highest Smash Brothers that you can get as of right now, if I'm not mistaken, because I know they're building another one. But yeah, this is the best one to date. I don't want to say it's the best one to play, but it's the most current one, I believe, is this one. So there's that one right there, which, funny thing is, like, if you go to a store try to buy this game, typically it's no less than like $40, right? If you go to a store, and in most stores it'd still be a $60 game to buy it new, like at a Target or something like that. So yeah, there was that one right there. Got this one as well. We have Hyrule Warriors. This one yields 20, so not too bad. We have everything with this one, so that's probably 25 realistically. So yeah, just one of those tips that when you're dealing with FBA, just remember you're looking at a market, and it'll always, or at least my Amazon seller app shows me the lowest market selling price at prime level, So anyways, I want to shout out a couple more people that are here. We have Robert in the house. We have Uniquely Me, that's Tracy. We have Fireside One, Justin Packman. And Malu Jimmy, what is going on? So Malu Jimmy asked a really good question. Does it matter if the lighter works? It's pretty much for display purposes only. Well, first of all, when you get a Beatles lighter like this, as long as you can see the spark going off, then the flint's still good, right? And the flints are really cheap regardless. But yeah, if you see this, then all it needs is basically Ronson lighter fluid, which is really easy to do. You take this, you pull this up, you put the lighter fluid down there, stick it back in like that, fire it a couple times, and it should start going. So that's really easy to do with these. The other ones, you need, a lot of the other older lighters, you need this kind of like lighter fluid that's almost like pressurized, and you should kind of put it up to this one little port on the bottom of the lighter. So I don't mess with too many lighters, right? If it just happens that they're around, then I buy them. And typically when I buy Zippos and stuff, it happens to be, it's really not actually one-off kind of situations. It's actually situations where I find sometimes 5 or 10 of them at a time. And then I put usually all 10 in my booth. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Like that one right there. It's pretty nice. Really cool little almost 60s, 70s logo kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I used to know in college how to do some really cool Zippo tricks. And I still know how to do the one where you like flick it and you like rub it on your pant leg and like bring it up to your cigarette. Anyways, pretty neat. Let me show you the shoes. Okay, so remember I paid $35 for those games and these shoes. I really got so excited when these shoes were there, first of all, and second because they're my size. But I'm not all about them. There was another variant of this shoe which I like better. And so I think when you guys see this, you're gonna be like, what? How'd you even find that at a garage sale? This is probably never gonna be found in another garage sale, at least here in Austin, Texas. I've been going to garage sales for 12 or 14 years now. I love garage sales, and I've never seen these shoes at garage sales, even in used, like completely used, worn condition. I've never seen them. I've been to so many thrift stores in my life. I've never, okay, ever seen these shoes or a variant of these shoes. So anyways, who wants to guess what the shoes are real quick? So I am going to show you two pairs of shoes here. One is the really cool one. The other one's just some like random, I wouldn't say it's random, but it's got some profit to it as well. But who can guess what I'm so excited about down there? Knowing what you know about me so far, what do you think these other pair of shoes are right now? So go ahead and answer that question real quick. Oh, they're not Bape. I wish they were Bape. That would be cool. But remember, these are shoes that I'm, considering keeping for myself, but I'm not really all about them, but they're pretty cool. Yeah, so Bape is awesome. Like if you find some Bape bathing ape shoes, yeah, you're probably doing really well with your profit. Nike Moabs. Oh, that would be sweet. I actually did have a pair of size 12 Nike Moabs, and I sold them. I did find them when I was with College Picker in Santa Fe, I believe. Louis Vuitton, no. Kangaroos, New Rock boots, hiking shoes, Payless loafers. Come on, guys. Hoka 11s. Come on, what do I wear all the time? Think about it for a second. That's basically the brand of this. All right, I'm going to show you the box. You guys are going to be like, holy moly, no way. Okay, you guys ready? Here's the box. Pretty cool, huh? That's the actual box. Yeah, this was at a garage sale, just chilling there. Couldn't believe it. So these are licensed Nintendo Vans, super special edition Vans, really awesome. Not vintage though, no. These are current day. But let's take a look, right? That's what I'm saying. Robert Mitchell says, oh, hell yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. So these are the special edition Vans, which is cool. And if you ever want to know, like, well, there are other special edition Vans, all you got to do is put special edition Vans into eBay, start looking at some sold listings, and you'll see all kinds of stuff that Vans has partnered up with. But these are some of the, I think, in the past 3 to 5 years, I think these are some of the neater ones that people really wanted, right? So yeah, so this is just shown there. The box is like, I mean, it's done a certain way. It looks like an old school 8-bit Nintendo player, or console. So this is the shoe that's inside, right? And let me show you the bottom of the shoes first. And I know some people here already know what the bottom of the shoe is going to say, but I'm going to show you the bottom of these shoes. And that's when you know that this is a real deal, like super awesome. So here it is. Pretty neat. Yeah, man. So that's what the actual bottom of these Vans show. So it turns out that these Vans they're a size 12. They are my size. And what's interesting about them is that how do I say it? The guy ordered a wrong size. And so for some reason, he ordered the right size, which are size 13s. And so that's the box that I have here. They have size 12s in them. And this is what the shoe is. Who knows what game this came from? Who knows? Look at it real quick. Check it out. What game is that? Come on, guess it. You have 1 second to guess. It's so easy. I mean, so easy. It does look a little bit kind of tribal-ish. Like if you were to see it from far away, you might be like, oh man, that looks like some Patagonia tribal stuff, right? It kind of looks like it, especially on the side right here. You know, I ain't gonna lie, like I'm tempted to keep them. I don't think I will. But I think in this condition, they're being a size 12 and being that you can't really find them anymore, I think this condition could really yield somewhere between maybe 70 to 100 bucks. So yeah, these are Zelda edition Vans. Pretty nice. This is one of 2 variants. So the other variant I like a lot better. And it is actually, the variant of that one is actually the wizard guy, that when you go up there, he says something like, take this with you, you know, for your quest or something like that. And he's giving you something. The guy with the fire, right? Anyways, it has him on there and it has his sayings, and it's pretty cool. This is the other variant right here. This is, I mean, it's just got some random dudes. It's got Link with the Triforce. It has some people that are in the forest. It has, you know, I think this is the lady you're trying to save. There's this little girl got down there. And it has a little skeleton guy that was in the levels and everything, like some of the levels. But yeah, nevertheless, pretty interesting shoes. I had to get them. I mean, there's no way I'm going to let those slide by. But I have some better Vans than these. Trust me, and I haven't worn them yet. But I have some incredible Vans. Someone's saying River City Ransom. That was such a good NES game. That was ridiculous. You know, I'll give you guys a second on my channel here. For the next 30 seconds, tell me what your favorite NES game of all time was. And if you can guess mine, I'd be really surprised. So that's pretty much, that's pretty much my garage sale haul. I have another pair of shoes. Let me know your favorite NES game. Very important. Okay, so here's the last find that I found at garage sales this past weekend. And I'm showing this on a Monday because I want to get this stuff processed. I want to put it up on my box wall, be done with it. So here's something I found at Goodwill for, I think this was like 13 bucks, maybe 14. Pretty neat, huh? So yeah, pretty cool. Oh, by the way, those Nintendo Vans, I think they were worn like twice. So they're in mint condition. They're not brand new, too bad. But they're in mint condition. But still, size 12 mint condition Zelda Vans, like I'm still saying 70 to 100 all day. So yeah, these are Alan Edmonds, right? Really nice. I believe these are Lizard, if I'm not mistaken. So we got some Alan Edmonds Clayton shoes. Great condition, right? The sole looks pretty good. Still has even the original markings when it's brand new. So not mint, but I would say, I don't even know if I would say light use yet, but I would say great condition. We also have the, I think these are called like shoe, they're called something, not shoe forms, something. I think they're called something like that. But anyways, these are made of cedar typically, and they're there to keep the nice structure of the shoe. So when you find these, and if you find shoes, one of the easiest ways to see a shoe that's worth a good amount of money is to go to a thrift store. If you start seeing some of these in shoes, then that can be your indicator to at least look a little bit more in depth into that shoe regarding eBay, right? So I think these are called shoe trees. That's what they are. What did I call them? Shoe forms? Anyways, so yeah, these I'm going to be aiming for about 100 bucks. They sell all day for like 70 all day. But this is a decent size. I think 100 is pretty fair. I might be waiting about a month, but I think it's pretty fair. So not too bad. They look really good. Have some, you know, normal wear and tear, but nothing crazy. They look good. They look good to me. So anyways, that's that. Let's see what some people's favorite games are. Donkey Kong, Final Fantasy, Blaster Master, not Master Blaster. We have Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which is good. Blades of Steel, Mario 3, Space Invaders. Was Space Invaders a Nintendo game? I'm not 100% sure, but let me know. We have Michael Jordan versus Larry Bird. Was that a game? I think it was. All right, so mine is actually Ninja Gaiden. Best game ever. Okay, Ray has some questions. How far of a radius to your hometown do you go garage selling and thrifting? From my house, I usually stick within 25 miles, 20, 25 miles within. Any more questions? I want to ask you, I'm going to take a couple questions. Let me know what you guys want to, let's keep it with garage sales though. So what kind of questions do you have regarding garage sales? Let's see if I can help you guys out a little bit. Double Dragon is a good game. Chrono Trigger, Battletoads. That was actually supposed to be one of the hardest games ever. Steve S., what's the next guide you're creating? I don't know what the next guide I'm creating is yet. I don't know what it might be, but I'm pretty sure you guys might figure it out. Do you do free returns on eBay? This is an interesting question because there are a lot of things that are changing in the past 2 to 4 weeks that have changed. And one of the things that changed is that there's no 14-day return policy left. I also cannot put It's very, very weird. I don't know how to describe it, but I'll try to describe it. So I'm not able to put a restocking fee on certain listings. I don't know why. So this part's it's kind of concerning to me. Even if I have a 30-day return policy, which is the base level now on eBay, is a 30-day return policy. So you can still opt for no returns, but if you pick returns, then it's a 30-day return policy. Even if you pick no returns, the person can still return it if they find something defective or wrong with the item, if they're not happy or something like that. But most of the time, most of my listings, I would say 60% of them are no returns. 40% of them are now 30 days and above returns. And some of those have 20% restocking fees on them. In fact, I took a return the other day. It was a pair of boots that sold for like $83 or something. And there was a 20% restocking fee, which is cool. So I only ended up refunding them like 60 something and change. So it's not bad, you know. It's like I get almost a part of those boots covered, the shipping to those boots completely covered, so that was good. But yeah, that restocking fee, you know, pretty much saved me in that situation. And the reason for return was boots didn't fit. But I can't pick the restocking fee on some listings, and I don't know why just yet. But I've heard a lot of people saying eBay is really glitchy lately, so I don't know. And I'm not the kind of person who likes to call things in and stay on the phone and try to figure out answers. Like, I'm just the person that's like, if it's there, that's great. If it's not there at that point in time, I don't mess with it. So, yeah. So there's that. Brad Alexander says, no restock fee on free returns, I think. Fireside One says, I do returns paid by buyer. Yeah, that's kind of how I do it on a lot of my things. Not all of them, but some of them. Sorry, some of them, not a lot. Jay Flowers, how do you look for comps when the people who have the garage sales are hawk watching? That's a really, really good question, but you have to also understand that with 12 or 14 years of garage sale experience, I think it's 14 at this point, I mean, honestly. But with that many years of garage sale experience, I can kind of go up to something and already know if something's pretty profitable or worth my time. The last thing I want to do is spend too much time at a garage sale wondering what if, right? And I would much rather, you know, I'll say it just how I want to say it, but I'd rather piss away $5 or $10 through a garage sailing day than spend an extra 20 or 30 minutes researching stuff, contemplating like, is it all complete, whatever. I would rather waste $5 or $10, but also with the chances of making hundreds in the long run, like just pulling the trigger, buying the item, bringing it home, and then maybe I find out something's wrong with it, 2 out of every 10 items. Okay, fine. You can still move that kind of stuff on eBay, right? But if something is drastically messed up, then yeah, it's gone. Like your money is out the door. But I still write that off as well. The thing is, I don't want to spend too much time like looking stuff up at a garage sale. If someone's like watching me, like hawk watching me, I try to do it in a way that typically when I'm looking up something at a garage sale, it's something for FBA. So and if someone's hawk watching me, I mean, I'll be honest with them if they're asking like, what are you doing? And I've only had to do that like once out of the past 3 months. Like some lady was like, are you an Amazon bookseller? Like when I was like scanning some books, and I was like, yeah, I put some stuff on there. If it just happens to be in garage sales, I pick them up. So that's what I do. But the worst thing you can do is just lie to them. But I've heard some funny lies from random resellers that I've resold with, and some of them are just hilarious. One of them was like, I'm trying to add to my collection, and I'm seeing if it's in my collection. Oh my gosh! So that's why I'm scanning it. Anyway. Open Mail says, I don't mind thrifters checking prices at my garage sale. I see them scanning all the time. I mean, it's kind of like an in thing right now. Like if you go somewhere and someone's scanning something, a lot of people kind of know what's going on at this point. Last seller update said that they were going to get rid of restocking fees altogether. I'm surprised it's still letting you put them on new listings now. Okay, so let me correct myself, Chris Coate. It's not letting me put them on new listings, and that's what the issue I'm having is like, where did that go? But on my previous listings, it's still there. Jennifer House says she deals with clothing. I do free returns, but shoes and heavier items, I make the buyer pay. Cool. Malu Jimmy, this is actually a really good one. I have used this one a couple times. Say you were looking up specs or a review on it. Say you're just texting an imaginary friend or a family member that might want it. I have so many imaginary kids on Saturday mornings. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I've done that too. I'm just texting my brother to see if he wants it. I'll say something like that sometimes. All right, let me get a couple more questions in here. Pure Profiteer, what's your highest return on a garage sale flip, paid in profit? I mean, honestly, I think my highest return would be, I think if it had to be just dollar, I mean, just ROI, percentage, everything, dollar for dollar, I think it would be the $1.50 bag that I sold for $650. I think that's probably the highest return on a garage sale flip. And that one made it into my Bags to Bucks guide. So there was a Ralph Lauren proprietor awesome bag that's sold for $650, and I bought it for $1.50. So that is the answer to that question. Okay, so Thrift Nurse, I guess. Have you ever bought things that smell so bad you had to get rid of them after you got home? Yeah, every now and then. Sometimes it can be something like a camping backpack that is just so bad, or it smells like smoke or something like that. But that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Something that's just so roached out and it smells terrible, and you know there's no way you're going to be able to get it out. I'll just chunk it. So, and I'll write it off. Lizzie Ann's Fine says, "Hey Chris, first time on your live feed. I think I just got home. Cool. Well, welcome to my feed." Fireside One says, "I bought a fishing lure for $3 and I sold it for $5.50. Wow, that's pretty awesome. I wonder what kind of lure that was. Was it a Heddon by chance? Let me know." Ben Arcilla, the Nike Mags movie prop from Back to the Future, I know exactly what that is, are up for auction on eBay. Anyone putting a bid? They're currently at 18K. It's so funny you talk about this shoe, because I was researching it again last week while I was bored, and I'm just so surprised at how many fakes are out there, but that the real ones are going for around 18K. That's crazy. I just want to buy a broken pair. Sometimes broken pairs will end up on eBay, and those can sometimes go for reasonable amounts. But that's interesting. Yeah, $18,000. I think those are the self-tightening ones, if I'm not mistaken, the Nike Mags. The Fireside One says, yes, it was a Heddon lure number 100. Cool. Terrence Garrison purchased a telecom console device for $100 and sold it for $1,300. That's awesome. Not big baller says, what niche to focus to make full-time living? That's a really tough one. But if I had to say what niche to focus on to make full-time, if you're saying full-time living, I mean, I would assume you're putting full-time hours into this. So if it came down to a niche at that point with full-time hours, I'm going to go ahead and say, God, that's tough. Because my first guess was going to be shoes, because shoes are one of those things you can pick up. They're small. You can put a bunch in your car. You can make a full-time living doing that. I know someone that does make a full-time living doing it, cranks out crazy amounts just doing formal shoes, or formal or casual type shoes. And but there's just a lot of money to be made in shoes, and I haven't really even cracked into, let's say, the women's section so much as the men's. I know the men's like nobody's business, but the women's section, I know maybe 10% of that. And I can honestly say that niche is extremely profitable if you know exactly what to find. I don't know who's making a guide on it really soon, but I'm pretty sure somebody's working on one. But it's I would say shoes. Shoes are pretty good. If you're in a really good bike town, bikes would be really good as well. But typically, if you're in a really good bike town, there's probably 10 to 20 really good bike hustlers already in that town doing it. So it makes it a little harder to find the good ones. If you're in a place like Colorado, state like Colorado or something like that, then outdoor sporting goods would be incredible. So, and that's just so many things. I don't know if that's a niche, but it could be a niche, I guess, if you're if you're in the technical term of niche, I guess it could be one. But yeah, that'd be a really good one as well. Okay. Yeah, so Fireside One says, you need to know many things. This is an echo to that kind of question, not big baller, but Fireside One says, you need to know many things or you're leaving money on the table. So I kind of go with that mentality more than anything, because, sometimes you don't know what's going to happen to thrift stores. So if you happen to be like super good at a niche, and then all of a sudden the thrift stores, let's say, move the prices up on all the shoes by $5. Well, you know, out of all your profits, $5 has also come out of each shoe or each profit. So whatever that amount is, whether it be 5% or let's say 10% of your profits, you know, that's like getting hit with a 5% or a 10% tax, and nobody likes taxes, but that's essentially what's happening when prices go up. I don't get too worried about it when prices go up, but it's also because I'm diversified. When I go out to thrift stores, I'm looking for hundreds and hundreds of different things, not just one thing. So I do agree with Fireside One saying you need to know many things or you're leaving money on the table. You need to know many things because you're leaving money on the table, but you also need to know many things because you never know when one of those things is going to be the found out item at a thrift store or a found out item or, you know, niche at a garage sale. It's the kind of item where they put the little piece of paper that says, you know, it's also selling on eBay for this much, and you're just like, ah, forget it. But there are those types of items also at thrift stores, and people are starting to learn about them. Now, I don't know how they're figuring it out. I don't know if they're watching YouTube videos. I don't know if they're following channels, buying guides, and if they are, I wouldn't even care because that's just part of the game. The part of the game is survival of the fittest. It always has been. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It's the survival of the fittest. So you always try to stay ahead of it by diversifying. So if you're out there, let's say you are an animal and you're hungry, and all you're doing is like, I just want to find this one berry that's great, and all of a sudden this drought comes and the berry's gone. Well, you're going to probably die. Whereas the other animal that would eat berries and leaves and legumes and meat or whatever will still survive, right? It's a survival of the fittest. So don't niche down. Like if you had to go to a niche, that's great. I would say shoes, but I also say don't do that. So anyways, yeah, uniquely me has a good point here. It says, my thoughts are try it all and your niche will find you. I think that's really good advice as well. Now I don't know who's creating a shoe guide anytime soon, but shoes are really good. So go check that out. And I think you're really going to enjoy starting with maybe with that niche. And if you get really good at that niche, I think you're going to be like really happy because there is a lot of money to be made with shoes. There just is. And then you can go around to other niches, but that's one of the niches that you can find in garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, all that kind of stuff. Whereas let's say if you niche down to bikes, for example, those aren't in every garage sale. They're not in every thrift store. They're not in every, you know, it's just kind of a bad one to pick. So yeah. Sharon says, I'm looking forward to the next guide. I can't wait. I have no idea what I'm building, honestly. Southwest Prophet says, just watch Chris. I learned from him. Cool. I don't know who Chris is either. Do you ever see those garage sales where extreme couponers are selling like 100 tubes of Crest or lotion? Yeah, I do. And I'm not opposed to it because if I need Crest or if I need lotion, that's a perfect garage sale to go to. I went to one of these garage sales 3 weeks ago, and there's this like hair product that I use for my hair. When I let it down to keep it kind of wavy and curly and not all weird, I have to use this stuff called Crazy Sexy Hair. And so that stuff on Amazon, if you buy it in a 2-pack, it's like $20. If you go to an H-E-B grocery store here in town, it's like $15. And so, you know, I'm always cognizant of the things that I use on an everyday basis. And if I know I have to keep using this one product, for example, I'm always on the lookout for that kind of stuff, whether it be my deodorant or the gym shorts that I use or, you know, all the things that I use. And I urge people to really start thinking about it that kind of way. And that you can always just think about it in the sense of, what do I also need to clean the house? You know, Clorox, what do you use? Do you use Barkeeper's Friends, Simple Green? Like, what are you using? And if you see this stuff in garage sales, just buy it because it's typically like liquidated out and nobody wants it. I even buy partially filled bottles for my house, partial Cloroxes, partial Windexes. It's saving money any way you look at it. I would much rather take the money that I save from something as semi-ridiculous as that and start putting it into a box. I guarantee you by the end of the box, I mean, by the end of the year, I have a trip probably, you know, paid to California and back to see my parents, for example. So that's how I kind of think about it. You can save money in so many different ways. When people, you know, see other people going on vacations or doing fun stuff or eating great food, and they go, well, that's great, but you know, I can't do that or whatever. I think most people are completely fooled by the fact that there's so many things that are trying to take money out of your pocket. And if you think about things a different way, then you actually will have more money and more experiences and more of all the other things that you probably see people doing that you're maybe jealous of, but you realize they're just thinking a little bit differently, right? Would I buy half tubes of toothpaste? No, I wouldn't do that, but I do partial stuff all the time. I was talking about my hair, but yeah. Okay, so I guess that's here's a question. Oh man, that's a little bit more fitness related. I want to keep this thing a little bit more hustler related, but I see your question, Ben. I will do a live fitness video on my other channel this week, I promise you. Try to find out where that is. So what's the other question here? Okay, yeah. So Southwest Profit says, you start learning how to be frugal with your money. Because I remember how much money I've blown off on stupid stuff. It's crazy. Yes, you have to be frugal with your money, but it's also really important to make something fun. And I'm going to leave you guys with this because I have to get out of here. But one of the things that I worked on this year, just as a fun, kind of stupid thing, was I didn't work on it this year. I do it every now and then, but I'll do something really stupid. Like I'll take a protein canister, right? And that's not what I'm using now. This is what I used before. What I use now is just a normal box up there. But I was using a protein canister. I would super glue the lid, and then I would take a screwdriver and I would cut a little hole at the top, right? So I super glue the lid of a protein 5-pound canister, really big ones, and make a little hole at the top, enough for coins, not even coins, I don't mess with coins, but enough for money to go through. And so I started this little thing many years ago, and I would try saving up for something, but I don't know that I'm actually saving up for it, right? But I know that there's money in that thing. And so I would just start putting 20 to 30% of my Craigslist deals of my profits into that thing. And then I would put any random money that was just laying around the house or the car, I would put it in there. And then I would buy something important to me several months down the road. And so this year I did it a little bit differently, but kind of the same thing. I have a box up there that has 30%, I think it's 30% of all my Craigslist deals this year. And it also has all the super chats that I got paid this year as well, up in a box up there. And so my goal with that box, and I know it's really going to pay for it, and probably and some more other things, but is to buy a surfboard in California, a brand new surfboard or a really nicely used surfboard in California. But it keeps it fun, right? It keeps me wanting to put more Craigslist listings up, keeps me wanting to put more double and triple listings up when I can. It keeps the game really fun for me because I know at the end, when I open up that box, I've kind of got a peek into it. I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of money in here. But it makes it fun. A lot of people have trouble saving because they don't really have that vision of what's going on or what they're really saving for. And so it doesn't really drive any of the actions to get to the vision whatsoever. But if you have a vision, or if you have something as silly as a stupid piggy bank on your desk, that's some motivation to maybe list a little bit more or make the extra Craigslist deal happen a week or two. And you'll be so surprised how fast those things fill up. It's ridiculous, but it makes it a lot of fun. And yeah, so anyways, yeah, so what someone was saying, super chats. Yeah, so as being a YouTube creator, there's an ability for your audience to pay you money for your content. Like just randomly, like in the feed, someone can just be like, here's some money. And I believe creators like myself, I would walk with around 70% of whatever amount is shown. So I've had super chats all the way as low as, $1.50, all the way as high as, I think like 150, if I'm not mistaken, was like the highest I've ever got, something like that. It might be 200, but I think it's 150. But yeah, I basically do a little calculation in my head. I'm like, what's 70% of that? And then I throw it up into the box. And so anyways, that's pretty much something fun that you guys can do. It's like a goals box. It's kind of interesting. And it's something that you want to buy in the next coming months, And for me, I've been saving up for a surfboard since January, I believe. And surfboards, if you guys know, they're not, I say they're cheap because I look at it in a perspective of other things that have cost me money. Mountain biking, for example, I would say is a pretty extremely expensive sport to get into. And that's my favorite sport. But surfing is one of those sports where if you do it right and you get something amazing, you usually have to drop about 700 to 1,000 bucks into something. So anyways, that's what's going on with my little savings box up there. So yeah, goals box. I guess that's pretty much it. I hope you guys really had some fun here on this chat. What's up, Margaret? Good to see you. But I wanted to show you guys my garage sale finds, inspire you guys a little bit on what things sell. And this is only what I walked away with. My brother walked away with a fair amount of things as well. And I'll be going to garage selling this weekend with someone new, which should be pretty cool. Should be a lot of fun. And but yeah, get out there. Get out there and see what you can find. Bring your money. Have a full tank of gas. Have a SUV or a car that has room to take whatever you might find home. But treat it like a business. Like, treat it like something really fun. Don't forget to give yourself a little reward at the end of the day, whether it be something as simple as your favorite coffee drink, or something like taco or a hamburger or something like that. And then get out to listing that kind of stuff. Maybe have a little goals box or something like that. Even a goals drawer. I like having a goals box or something high up that I can't really see what's in it. And that way it makes it kind of fun. But you have to remember that if you're saving up for something, when it comes time to opening up that box or opening up the protein canister, right, that you promise yourself you're going to buy that thing, because there's nothing worse than pulling money in and out of it to go garage selling with or something like that. Don't touch the money. It's so important to not ever touch the money, ever. So you only, touch the money when you finally are about to buy the item. And then I think you'll be really surprised what you see in there. So anyways, it's really good to see you guys. I'll see you hopefully on tomorrow's video if I'm lucky. But I am working on something behind the scenes. So if you guys can figure it out, leave me a comment. I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Goodbye.